Hello, this is the AYN, or Iron as I've heard it pronounced, but I'm going to call it AYN, Odin 2 Pro. It is an Android based retro gaming emulation, whatever you like, handheld that is fantastic. There you go, you don't need to watch the rest of the video, that's all you need to know. Go buy one. Yeah, this is going to be a completely half-assed review. And why half-assed? Because honestly, I'm lazy. I can't be bothered to go into all the technical bollocks that honestly I don't care about. If you care about it, that's all well and good for you, but watch someone else's video if you want that kind of stuff. What I'm going to do is show you what it is that I really like about this. Okay, let me turn the camera around. Right then. Let's just have a quick looky at this thing. I showed this to Tasha, which is Jo, my girlfriend's daughter, recently, and she said, oh, it's a Switch, or a Switch knockoff. And I understand why she thinks that, because the overall layout is very similar. D-pad, Hall joysticks, Hall sensor joysticks, your face buttons, it's all, you know, is that recognizable layout, but it's got nice ergonomics on the back that are actually really comfortable. I handed it to Jo to have a go on a game that I'd got running on it, and she was like, oh, that's really comfortable to use. And she's not wrong. A lot of handhelds are really quite, you know, you hold them and you don't think about the ergonomics, but if you actually did think about them, you'd realise actually they're not that comfortable. But this is great. Triggers are what you would expect there. These are analog triggers, and very nice they are too. The joysticks, I have an issue with all joysticks on all handhelds. They're too short and the throw is not long enough, which makes any kind of movement in any kind of game imprecise. You get too much movement in the game from too little movement on the stick. That's not the fault of this. Within that limitation, these sticks are great. The D-pad is fantastic. It is the best D-pad I have used outside of a PS Vita or a PSP Go, and it absolutely kicks the arse off of any joystick they've ever put on an Anbernic handheld. I hate those. You've got these here 4 buttons, which partly act as the Android control buttons. That's the back button. That, well, honestly, I don't know. That's the home button. And that supposedly is like the square button that would bring up the menu where you can close things down, but it doesn't. I don't know why. I think there's that's a microphone just there. Speakers are fantastic. The audio on this is very loud, and it's got an adequate amount of bass, which is, it surprised me when I first set it running. It was like, whoa, this is loud and sounds gorgeous. HDMI out, micro SD card, volume up and down. I find this weird, the way volume down, volume up. I would expect it to be the other way around, but whatever. Little LED to tell you when it's charging. This is the on off button, and I believe there's a fingerprint sensor in that. I don't know, I haven't used it. Let's turn the thing on. I mean, technical specs, it's a Snapdragon Generation 2 something something. Adreno 750, is it? 740, 750? I have no idea. I don't care about these things. I've got 256 gigs of storage in here. I have got 12 gigabytes of RAM. It is the Pro model. You can get them cheaper if you buy the base model, and more expensive if you buy the, whatever it is, Max model, is it? Don't know. Honestly, I think this is the best one to get. Where did I get it from and how much did it cost? Yeah, I got it from Droidbox, and it cost 400 and something. Yes, you can get them cheaper if you buy them straight from AYN or maybe other places, But I go to Droidbox because they're in the UK. They ship within a very, very good time frame, like a couple of days, and it'll get here. I had some say in who was shipping it. I chose Royal Mail. This is where things got a little bit dicey. Droidbox, if you think a jiffy bag and a plastic bag with the address on it is adequate packaging for a £400+ device, you're having a laugh. Do better. Royal Mail, if you think kicking things around and breaking the packaging open so that the box nearly falls out of the bag, do better. Because that's how this arrived. It was falling out of the bag. It was falling out of the jiffy bag, and if it had done that, they would have had no address to go by, and it wouldn't have got here. So, poor all round. Do better. Anyway, it's Android. It's got another front end on it if you want that. I haven't bothered using it. I'm like, I just don't care. I want Android. I want to be able to organise things the way I like. You can put other front ends on. That's up to you. I'm not even gonna... I said this is a crappy review. It's half-assed. I'm not going to show you things like that. If you want to see things like that, watch someone else's video. I want to show you what this thing can do. Because, you know, you'll get people doing bench tests and all of that lot and saying, oh, it's got this many MIPS and that many M-flops, and I don't care. It will play everything 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, whatever. You know, PS1, Saturn, it absolutely kicks their ass. You can up-res as high as you like. I am interested in what will it do with the 3DS, what will it do with the GameCube, what will it do with the PS2, and more. We'll get to that. Let's have a looky at the GameCube Dolphin. What should we try? What do I... Yeah, okay. Don't know the controls. Is it the trigger button? Or is it the X? Is it that? Okay, it's that. Oops. So I played this a little bit on my GPD XP Plus, which is what I'm comparing this to in terms of performance. It's like if it's the GPD XP Plus has been my go-to handheld. Oh, you can see I know what I'm doing. Yeah, the XP Plus has been my go-to handheld up until this time. I don't know what that is I keep pressing, but it's making me slam into the wall, so I probably shouldn't do it. Okay, that seems to be a shield or something. I know there's a thing that makes you, like, go faster. Oh, that seems to be it. Okay. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Not much. So I played this on that, and it was like, yeah, you could play it, but it wasn't full speed, and there was stuttering, and the audio was knackered, and it wasn't up to it. And that's like on a Dimensity 1200 CPU, which is faster than the one that's coming out in the Retroid Pocket 4, because that's a Dimensity 1100. So, you know, the XP Plus is a powerful handheld. This is kicking its ass. There's a reason Snapdragons, phones and whatever with Snapdragons in them are expensive. It's a powerful piece of kit. This is an expensive handheld. And it's a powerful piece of kit. Because look at this. There you go. It plays that just like, if there's slowdown, I'm unaware of it. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate one of the things I find a bit weird now. We press home twice. It still sort of sits in memory, and normally I would push the square thing on the screen, but I don't have that, so you pull that well, yeah, you sort of pull that up and clear it all like that. Is it using up memory while it's there like that? Honestly, it's a thing about Android I've never been sure about. Shows how much I know what I'm doing. Not really. Okay then. PS. Let's go to the Vita first. The game I have... Okay, I don't... TXK played just fine on GPDXP Plus. So did Flower, so did Asphalt Injection. The one that it couldn't really do was Wipeout 2048. And straight out of the box, this emulator, Vita 3K, can't play Wipeout 2048. It crashes. You know, it starts off, it stutters, then it crashes, and then, well, that's that. You have to install a GPU driver called Turnip driver. Yeah, weird name, don't know why they call it that. I'm not going to demonstrate how to install that or where to get it. Google is your friend. This, literally, I'm showing what you can do with this if you've got things configured well enough. It's up to you to find out how to do that. I'm not doing that in this video. Maybe later in another video, but probably not, because I'm lazy. No, really, because I'm just past doing all of that these days. I've got a bit of stuff on my screen. Can't leave it there. All right, let's go to this one because I haven't been to this one before. I'm going to do badly now because I don't know what I'm doing on this one. But it's gorgeous. I love Wipeout, and up until now the best thing I've been, oh god, wrong trigger. The best thing I've been able to run on a handheld has been the PSP Wipeout games, which are still gorgeous. They're just not this gorgeous. Though actually the resolution on this looks quite low at this moment. I should probably look into that. Ooh, that wasn't very good, was it? I didn't hit any cannon. I don't know. Yeah, we have guns. Helps if you got someone in front of you when you're firing them. Oops, I was looking at my camera screen. That's my excuse. Whoa! Yeah, I don't think I've got this at full resolution. Oh, little bit of a stutter there. Paused for a moment. Very brief. Didn't. It's like I'm aware of it, but it didn't ruin the game. Can I shoot this guy? Well, no. Oops. Where are we? First position. Goodness. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. I don't, honestly. I've never played this circuit before. I mean, I've got the, what is that? The Wipeout collection thing. Omega collection, is it called? That has got like Wipeout HD, Wipeout Fury and Wipeout 2048 all in one package. And honestly, if you've got a PlayStation 4 or 5 and you haven't got that, get it. If you've got a PlayStation 4 and a PSVR, or a PlayStation 5 and a PSVR, play it in VR. It's amazing. I don't have my PSVR anymore. I've got a PSVR 2 which doesn't play it, and I gave the PSVR to Joe. So I can't play it in VR anymore, but it's the best, probably the best game on the original PSVR. Fantastic game. I don't like the air brakes on this game. It used to be you'd have like a left and right air brake on the triggers, and they changed that, and it's like, it's not right. Anyway, that's that. So that's how good the Vita runs on here. The resolution was not up there on that one. I need to tinker with that because I'm pretty sure it looks better. PS2. Okay, this is not going to... I'm gonna... God, listen to me waffle. You've got this control on here where you can run in standard performance or high performance modes. I keep it in performance mode. I'm going to put it in standard mode initially, and then we're going to have a go on a circuit on here, and I'll show you how this more or less ran on the GPD-XP Plus, because it was similar to this. Okay, I was going to show you how this runs compared to the GPD-XP Plus. I thought it's comparable when this is in low power mode, and I just ran this race in low power mode to show you how badly the XP runs it and how badly this runs it in low power mode, and then you ramp it up to high power and it's great. Just this circuit and another Japanese one, and it ran just fine. So that demonstration isn't going to happen. But this, take my word for it, on the GPD-XP this circuit does not run well. It's something to do with the lighting effects. So this used to be one of my like go-to games to demonstrate whether or not this emulator was working well on a given Android handheld, because most couldn't run this circuit. This can run this circuit on this emulator really well. It's great, it's lovely, it's silky smooth. We're running in 3x resolution, 3 times. I guess it's 720p, I don't know. It looks better than a PS2 ever looked on any TV I ever owned. It's great. My camera's not straight, so I'm having to hold the thing wonky so it will appear. No, that's not. There we go. Oh god. Quality reviewing. You won't find it here. But this isn't a gameplay demonstration in terms of me playing games and you seeing how to do it, because all you will see is how not to do it. I used to be great at this game and now I suck because I haven't played it in years, and I'm not really paying attention to the race because making videos. You're not seeing it exactly as I'm seeing it because the camera is compensating for the darkness, because it's a night circuit, so it looks brighter on the camera. And there's me not changing gear and bashing me valves off me pistons and blowing the engine up and then running into a wall, because why wouldn't you? Okay, so that's the first demonstration of the PS2 on here. It's great. You can like up-res it umpteen times. I don't know if you can even go up to like 4x, 5x. I haven't really pushed it because there's no need to. On a screen this size, 720p or 1080p if you want, is as high as you can display it. You could have a higher internal resolution, but it's going to be displayed at a maximum of 1080p. Okay, let's exit that. That was stupid. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to exit the game and load a different one. And I'm totally forgetting how to do that. There we go. Right. The other game that demonstrates how well this emulator works on this hardware is Shadow of the Colossus. This on the GPD-XP, no chance. Okay. I'm never comfortable with the camera controls on this. Where's me horse? There's me horse. Get on me horse. Press triangle. There we go. Yeah, the camera controls always seem to be... I've had them... You can reverse them, but they still feel weird to me. But yeah, this is totally playable at 3 times resolution, which is great. And I don't think I'll spend much time playing it on here because I'm playing other things on here. But I have got this on my PS5. I've got like the PS4 update. I guess we are going that way. Yeah, I've got the PS4 version, the remastered version, and it's great. I mean, it's just this game, but with updated graphics. So that's that. It runs brilliantly. I'm not going to demonstrate anymore because, as I said, this isn't a gameplay video. It's showing you how cool this handheld is. That's PS2. Clear all of that. Now, here is the thing that surprised me. Are we going to look at Citra? Okay, well, I was about to show you Citra, but I don't appear to have any games on it, or it's not recognising the games that I have on here since I installed it. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't want to work. So we're going to have a look at Yuzu, which is the Switch emulator. We will go for Mario Kart 8. I will be very quick showing these, literally just to show you it works. Not everything on here works, and you've got to install the right firmware for this, and you can also install GPU driver files as well for better performance. You don't need that for this. For other things, maybe. I'm going to show you one of those other things in a minute. The thing that basically blew me away. But we'll have a go at this first. Can't remember the controls. I think it's that button, isn't it? Oh, it's that button. Look at that. It is... I mean, I don't own a Switch. I'm showing this purely for demonstration purposes to show that it can be done. I do not condone piracy. This is purely for demonstration purposes to show how good this emulator is. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, but it's a very, very impressive emulator. I'm just chucking things around for no apparent reason, just because I can. Yeah, it's great. It works brilliantly. I'm going to bang out of that. Now, I have a different version of Yuzu. This is the paid-for one. This is the early access. That's what I'm looking for. Elder Scrolls. I have tinkered with this a lot to make it run. In terms of operating system, in terms of graphics drivers, in terms of settings. I'm not going to show you exactly what I've done because honestly I can't remember. I just mess with it until it works. And it's not perfect. You'll see when it loads. You get graphical glitches. You don't... Frame rate wise, it's fine. The graphical glitches can be annoying. There is a frequent... If you go indoors and there's like fire or candles or something, you will get flashing. And it's like there's lightning or someone's flicking the light switches on and off or something like that. It doesn't alter the playability. And if you do just think of it as like, oh, it's lightning, it's atmosphere. Oh, here we are now. Yeah. If you suffer from visually affected epilepsy or whatever, stop watching now. If you're writhing on the floor, I'm sorry, I should have warned you sooner. Don't watch this. But do you see what I mean? It's like there's a very bad thunderstorm outside. It's not like this everywhere. If I go back out, where did I come? Let's go back out there and you'll see what I mean. I'll edit that. Yeah, here we are. We're at this big place up in the mountains. Very snowy, very pretty. This in VR. If you play this in VR on the PC or the PSVR, it's amazing because you just go, you look up and you're like, wow, that is so big. But yeah, here we are with it on a handheld, and I'm just like, wow, this is working at all. It boggles my mind. So you get the graphical glitches. Here are some people I killed earlier. But the other thing that it does, which is not great, is it will lock up. Every so often, it will just... The audio keeps running, like if there are people having a conversation, they continue to talk until their piece of talking is done. But everything else just stops working. You can't exit out of it, you can't... The only thing you can do is shut the emulator. And how often that happens seems to depend on the configuration you're running, probably how much memory you've got as well. I imagine the base model will run into problems more often, but I could be wrong about that. It's a thing. What I do is I save my progress. I quick save on a very regular basis, like every 30 seconds or minute or so, because I probably will play this. I have no qualms about playing this game because I own so many versions of it. The fact that I didn't specifically buy the Switch version, I'm like, whatever. Bethesda have had so much money off of me for the different versions of this game that I've got. Yeah. So that works on the Switch emulator, and I'm gobsmacked because, you know, I thought Switch emulation, yeah, it'll run some like little games, it'll run some indie games. It's not going to run the fancy stuff, is it? Well, yes it does. And that to me is amazing. Okay, let me show you what it won't run. It's probably going to make a liar of me now. Here we go. Get ready for it to either crash or do something weird. Yeah, there it goes. I have had it running a little bit. I got it to load and it showed like an intro sequence, and then it actually got into gameplay and characters. It was really slow. Everything was in slow motion and NPCs were like flickering in and out of existence. There was this guy walking out of a saloon and he disappeared, but his hat was still there. You could see this guy was walking down the road or staggering because you could see his hat, and he kept flickering in and out of existence. It was a bit weird. I've kept it on here because, you know, updates in the graphics driver or the emulator may make it functional at some point, and that's just the way with emulators. They get better. Unless they're the PS2 emulator, which that's not being developed anymore, which is a real shame. So, yeah, other things. There are other things. Okay, yeah. You've got LEDs. You've got RGB stuff. And you can change what colour it is. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that actually, the colours, because the camera's just washing it all out. But I have mine purple, and a quite dark purple. I say I have them purple and a dark purple, but actually most of the time I don't have them on at all, because I don't like RGB on computers and consoles because I think it's silly. It's a distraction. I want to be looking at the game, not fancy lights on the hardware itself. I think it's a distraction, and on a handheld it's a waste of battery power. So I just turn them off. But for those of you who are interested in such things, it's got that, and it's the implementation is quite cool. Yeah, there are other things. This Odin launcher, which it lets you tinker with stuff. Tells you various things, how much RAM you've got free, how hot it's running. That's quite cool. Stuff like that. I don't mess with this. It's here, but I don't use it. It probably does some useful things, but I'm like, I don't care. It is, to my mind, a fantastic piece of hardware. It emulates games better than any other handheld I've ever used. It actually emulates games better than my gaming PC, or at least better than anything I've tried running on it and bothered to take any time setting up anyway. It is just bloody brilliant. And I've only showed you like the difficult stuff. The easy stuff, obviously, it just runs great. I suppose the question is it worth the money? And I'm like, yeah. What is it up against in terms of competition? Because you've got the Steam Deck and then you've got these other PC-based handhelds. The Steam Deck being probably the most affordable of the PC-based things. It is more capable performance-wise than this. It's in a similar-ish price range. It can run PS3 stuff, which this can't. It can run PC games, which this can't. What this has in its favour is it's smaller. The Steam Deck is huge. You damn near need a suitcase to carry it. I think they're ridiculously big, and there was a time I wanted one, but now I've seen them in the flesh, I'm like, no, that's just too big. I don't want one. This is a much more sensible size. The battery life on this, if you're playing Switch games, which are pushing the hardware, especially if you've got it in like high performance mode, you're probably going to get 4 or 5 hours out of it. If you're emulating anything like PS1, Saturn, whatever, and lower, this thing's just going to run all day. The battery is amazing. And I mean, then in the PC hardware handhelds, you've got there are lots of them that are in the £1,000 plus price point, and it's like, well, apples and oranges, you know, they're going to run games much better than this. They're going to run emulators much better than this. But £1,000 more, 1,400 for some of them, they're just insanely expensive. You can't compare them. This is for an Android handheld, it's expensive, but it's the most capable Android handheld that I'm aware of, and it's lovely. It is a joy to use. It's comfortable in the hand. The battery lasts ages. The controls are fantastic within the limitations of the controls you can have on a portable. It's efficient in terms of like bang per buck and power versus battery life, that kind of thing. It is just, I have never held a handheld that I have been so impressed by and thought, this is done right. But this is done right. That's about all I can tell you. If you want an Android handheld and you've got the money, buy one of these. Where you get it from is totally up to you, but be wary of dodgy packaging because they're not taking their job seriously. Droid X, do better. Okay, I think I've kind of made me point, really. Yeah, AYN Odin 2 Pro, because that rolls off the tongue really easily. Thank you for watching.
Ah, yes. So, I rig the button that releases the hound to that subscribe button. Oh, hello. Yes. Do subscribe.